This video has been put together to help you as a parent or carer of one of our pupils to navigate your way around our online learning platform. As a school, we use the GLOW, which is the National Learning Platform, and with that we are using Teams as a way of communicating with our pupils and setting tasks, setting work, and supporting our pupils, youngsters, with their learning. So first of all, what we need to do is get logged into GLOW. This sometimes can cause a challenge for some of our youngsters. So what we're looking to try and use here is when we're in the search engine, we're looking for the GLOW Scotland login. Now at this point here, what we're looking for is the GLOW sign in RM Unify. So when we select that there, you can see we're faced with a standard sign-in box. Now this is where your pupil will use their GLOW login account that they use for the school system. So in this instance here, we're using Harry Hounds. Harry Hounds is our, suppose in a way, our fake pupil that we can use for testing and for circumstances such as this. So when we go into it and we enter the passwords, you'll find that you're able to sign in. If the pupil's using their own device, you might sometimes find that they'll click the Remember Me button, which means that they're able to sign in so much quicker. On the pupil launchpad, there are 4 main tabs that we encourage the pupils to have and to utilise. The first one being Microsoft Teams, and that's primarily what this video tonight is going to speak to you about. The other one is looking at Mail, which is the Outlook client in terms of emailing for pupils and staff. And we've also got the pupil personal storage area, which is OneDrive. One that isn't on this one on Harry's launchpad here is one called the SharePoint. Now SharePoint is what the maths faculty use for the pupils to be able to access all the resources that they need in order to support their learning. To add the tab into the launchpad, what you're looking to do is click the Add button. From here, we're going to add App from Library. And as you can see here, you're faced with a multitude of different apps and links and websites that are available. And again, you can browse these as a parent with your child and decide which ones might be quite a good one to add to their launchpad to support their learning. From here, what we're going to do is click on My Establishment Apps, and that slims down the volume that we've got here. And what we're looking for is the one called SharePoint. So you can see there, this is on page 2, is the SharePoint app. So when we access this click SharePoint, we click on it there, and it comes up with the option, we add to my launchpad. That will then add, when you close that window down and click on the launchpad again, that will then have added SharePoint to the pupil launchpad. The SharePoint site is the main GLOW site in terms of the external face of Mintlaw Academy. The maths department have got their own tile within this area here that you can access the resources there. When we go back onto the launchpad, we'll now focus on the use of Microsoft Teams. So if we open our Microsoft Teams window, again, you may be asked to sign in. It's just added security, but it's just using the pupil's GLOW account again and password. And once logged in, what you'll come across is we have this landing page. This is where you'll have a variety of different teams from different subjects. You might find you've got teams for your house system. You might find you've got teams from your guidance teacher. You might find you've got teams that are maybe for extracurricular purposes. So teams are a way of basically putting in a silo all the information regarding about that topic. So for example, we've got in this one here, we've got a practice science one, we've got a 1 science class, S3 physics, we've got a second year technology, a wide range of teams so we can showcase what we're doing. What you'll find is though that with your pupil, with your child, you will only have a set amount of teams depending on what subjects they're taking and what they've picked whilst in school. Just a bit of navigation help to start with. What we've got here is the activity panel. So down the left hand side, if you click on activity, what you'll find is here is where you get it's alerts. So any time that a pupil has been mentioned, anytime a team has been mentioned, you can see in this example here for the higher engineering science that because we used the @ symbol here, which highlights that team, so that means a notification will go to every pupil and it then appears in the activity panel down the left hand side. So it's quite a good way for pupils to basically be able to see exactly what's happening on a day-to-day basis. But what you will find is that depending on the popularity of their teams, there could be quite a number of notifications appear here, and it's a case of being cautious and watching to make sure they're not missing out on anything. Second down the list, we've got our teams. And again, this takes us back to our teams landing page where we can see what teams the pupil is part of. We've got this tab here, this next one down here called assignments. This is a very, very useful tab, is probably from a parental point of view, because when you click on assignments, you can very quickly see what assignments your pupil or your child has been added to. In this instance here, obviously because Harry Hounds is a test pupil, you'll see that we have got a lot of different assignments posted in here because they're part of lots of different teams, but you can see that what will happen is that you can see what they've been assigned. So you can see, for example, this one here, the 2B1 class, it's a user input with a mouse, and they've got this assignment to complete. And you can scroll down and you can see that this one here, for example, in science 1S, I've got a plants test due today. So when you open that assignment, you can see there comes up information. We'll come back to assignments later. Down the left here again, we've got calendar. Calendar is just the calendar app. When a meeting is created, so we've now got the facility, this is probably more for when we're doing if we're ever in blended learning or learning from home again. This is where teachers can actually have live one-to-one and live chats with pupils or live chats with classes. And you'll find that if by clicking on the calendar button, you'll be able to see what classes and what live chats have been timetabled for your child. So you can quite easily just go in there and click on these and have a look and see what's happening. Other things we've got down the left is we've got files. This is the most recent used files that your child has used whilst on Teams, or they can access the files within the Teams themselves. So you can see all the different files that they've got access to within their teams. And then last but not least, they've got the OneDrive, and the OneDrive is where they've got everything stored. In this instance here, Harry Hounds has got nothing saved at the moment, so it's an empty OneDrive, but your child will have lots of their files stored here with different file structure in place for the different subjects. So that's our standard 5 that we're looking to use in terms of supporting accessing and supporting teams. The three dots are very useful. It lets you open up new windows, and you'll see that in here we've got different things. These are apps that we are not really using with S1 and S2 pupils. However, the class notebook is something that we use with our S3 to S6 pupils, but we'll look at that in a later video. So when we go back to Teams, if, for example, I was to go and click on, we'll use the science practice team for an example just now. So when your child logs into the team, initially, you can see there they actually come up on the posts file. So this is where, again, as I said, information can be posted. What we encourage pupils to do is, for example, Miss Wallace has scheduled a meeting here for this goes back to the 6th of March. What we encourage pupils to do, if they have been, if they see something and they've seen it and acknowledge it, we use the like button, we use the thumbs up button, just to acknowledge that they've actually seen the message, and so the teacher understands they've done it. When you see a symbol with the @ symbol as such, or the red symbol like so, that means that the team has been mentioned. So that means that the whole team has been mentioned. And again, it's really good practice just for pupils just to like that, just to say, yep, I've seen it. I understand that we've got that to complete. So that's looking at what happens in the post. And again, your child can start a new conversation. So for example, I can put Miss Wallace, that means I'm going to ask a question. You can type in there, can you help me with my homework, please? What that'll happen there is, by doing that, is that the Miss Wallace, the science teacher, will get a notification and she'll be able to come back and it'll appear in an activity, making it slightly easier to complete it. So I've now sent that through and you'll be able to see the reply. Now this, what I will stress is that any messages that appear on here will appear on the board. So that means that every pupil within the team and every member of staff within the team can see them. So just be very careful what you're posting on there. These boards are all monitored. We do check them for anything inappropriate that's been shared, but please just take care what you're posting on there. If it's anything confidential, it would be preferred if we actually emailed either the class teacher or guidance teacher. When we work along here, we've got files. The file section, as its name suggests, is where we will have files stored. There's no files as such stored in here, but if I jump to the higher engineering science team, you'll see what the files looks like here. And this lets you see the examples of how we use our notice board as well, in terms of there's an opportunity at RGU coming up, so we can post information there. Again, there's information about an end of unit assessment for next Wednesday. So if we click on the file section, you'll see files that are open to pupils. So we've got class materials. Class materials are read-only, and you can see these are just things in here. So we've got support videos that have been posted and sample documents from SharePoint and such like. So we've got things there that are designed to help the pupils with their learning. So that's how we can use class materials for accessing shared files. The higher engineering science class, we will use a class notebook, which we can cover in a second video. Hence the reason the class materials is a bit more empty than other subjects. What we've got here within, if I go back to look at the 1-2 science team here, which will help us to navigate our way around the assignments tab. When we click on assignments, what we're going to find here is, see, there's a range of different assignments that have been assigned to the class. So you can see these ones they're past ones, but they've been assigned from the 23rd, 2nd October, 9th of October. When you click on this here, what you'll find is the information about the actual assignment. So that they're going to research the litmus indicator, which is a task that's been set by the teacher. This task might be linked to some of their textbooks, it might be linked to some of their course notes, it might be linked to existing videos. But what we can do here then is, once the pupil has carried out the task, has carried out the work, you can then click on the add work. Now this is where the pupils submit. Sometimes the pupils can find this a bit of a challenge. So what we're looking to do here is upload. Ideally, if they've done the work in OneDrive, they're looking to upload from OneDrive, or they can create a new file. They can put a link if they've got it saved someplace else, or they can upload it from the device if they've actually done it on their home PC, home laptop. In this instance here, I'm going to upload it from OneDrive. I've got classwork science. So if I select that and click attach, you'll see that the blue bar will go through. Once that's been right through, you'll see that the work has been uploaded into this page, and then what we can do here is click the turn in button. In this instance, we're turning it late because its due date was September 23rd. So when we click on the turn in late, you'll see that you get a little recognition to say the work has been turned in. Excellent. Good thing about it is, if you discover that if they've made a mistake with the homework, you can click the undo turn in button and then resubmit it. What then happens is that will sit in the teacher's folder, and the teacher will go in and grade the work and give feedback. So, when you can see in this instance here, there's 4 points possible. So the class teacher will mark this from 1 to 4. Some teachers work at 100, other ones work 50, 10. They're all different. So what we can do here is get the 4 points, and then you'll also get feedback. The pupils will get feedback from here. The last tab across the top is the grades tab. When you click on the grades tab, you'll see what exactly your pupil has completed and what they've turned in, and you see the points that's been allocated. So you can see here that the due date was the 23rd, The assignment was task 1, litmus indicator. I turned it in a month late. Not turned in means the pupil hasn't viewed the assignment. What that basically means is the assignment has been posted, but the pupil has not looked at the assignment or opened it. The other option of the 3 you get is viewed, which means that the pupil has viewed the work, but obviously has not attempted it or has not submitted the work. And then lastly, this one is the turned in. And this is where it's quite useful as a parent to be able to see what your pupil is doing, your child is doing, and see what stage they're at. And you also can see how the points have been allocated, how the points have been allocated and what marks they've got in going through this. So again, out of the whole thing, I suppose the crucial thing is the assignments tab to see what they've got to do, and the grades tab to see if they've submitted things on time. Depending on the type of task that the teacher has asked them to do, the teacher might not necessarily give them feedback through the points. Some teachers won't assign points to a particular task. So you see in this instance here, task 2 had no points. The pupil might well receive feedback, whether it be in their class jotter. They might receive feedback, whether it be set as a test and give the test this way, or they might actually receive feedback through an email. So although it might actually say there's no points, the chances are the teacher has given feedback through another method within the class. The crucial thing is seeing what assignments have been completed and then what status they're at. That will let you see just how your pupil is doing if they're completing tasks. So that's the main tabs along the top of our Teams, and that's how we navigate Teams, and that's how we use Teams within the Academy. The crucial thing with Teams is the fact that at the moment you need to have your child's login details to have a look at this. I can't stress enough the importance of actually going on and looking to see what they're doing, actually having a look on it, see how they're doing assignments, and see what work they've got to do. So the assignments tab there, as I said, is the crucial one. That lets you see just exactly what they've got. If you have any questions regarding Teams, we're more than happy to field these questions. If you send an email into your guidance teacher, and they will happily pass the email on to myself, or they will be able to answer any concerns you've got or any questions you've got about Teams. Moving on to the senior phase, you might find that, so if we click on the higher engineering science class, what we'll find is that, as I said earlier, the work that's done here is all done through the class notebook. So within this class notebook, higher engineering science teachers have set it up in such a way that all the resources that are required are accessed through this class notebook. So within this, our pupil Harry can have information to handouts, class notes, classwork, quizzes and such like, and grades and targets. It's a way that teachers can communicate back and forward with the pupils, and it's all in one place. Harry, as he's just been added to this class, obviously doesn't have any work submitted at the moment, but you will find if you go and have a look at your pupil within your child within the class notebook, you'll see the work they've been doing. So if I click on the content library here, this is where the pupil will be able to access all their class notes. So we've been working on Unit 2 structures. So you can see there we've got the class notes within here. So you can see we've got a unit outline, so it explains what the unit's what it's about. We've got our task booklet, so we've got stress and strain and theory, so class notes can be added here. So it means it's all the notes for the whole year can be accessed from one point of view, and you've got examples, worked examples to support the child with their learning. The task booklet, like what you can see here, is where we actually put on the tasks they need to complete, so the pupils can sit in class and use their phones, they can sit in class on PCs, and equally they can sit at home and use this for revision. The good thing is when they submit work, they can submit work straight into this page and we can give direct feedback. So the class notebook is a way that we're using with some subjects are using with some senior pupils just to support their learning, and it means that everything that they need for a particular subject is all in one place.